If you're watching this, somebody has probably asked you to add or change something to your DNS records. Maybe an email marketing tool, an email provider, or another service you are trying to connect to your site. By the end of this video, you'll know where to find and manage your DNS records on WordPress.com. DNS stands for Domain Name System. DNS records are bits of information that tell your domain name what to do, like which website to show, where to send your emails, and which other services to connect to. Let's start in the WordPress.com dashboard. Click the WordPress icon, top left, open the relevant site, and make your way to Domains in the left sidebar. Open the domain name you want to work with, scroll down to Settings, and click DNS Records. These records tell the internet where your website should load, where your email should go, and how other services can connect to your domain. My domain uses WordPress.com name servers, so I can add and edit its DNS records here. If your domain's name servers are not set to WordPress.com, you will need to edit the DNS records with that provider instead. Before we make any changes, let's quickly look at what's already here. You'll usually see an A record with the @ symbol. That points the main version of your domain to your WordPress.com site. You may also see a CNAME record with www, which helps the www version of your address to work too. You might also see a TXT record called Domain Connect. This helps some services like Office 365 or Google Workspace connect to your domain more quickly, so you don't have to add every DNS record yourself. The other TXT records shown here help with email authentication and security. Let's walk through adding DNS records with a real example. If you use MailPoet to send newsletters from your domain, MailPoet requires you to add DNS records to authenticate your sender domain. This makes sure your emails actually reach your subscribers' inboxes instead of ending up in spam. MailPoet, for example, gives you 4 DNS records to add, 2 CNAME records and 2 TXT records. Let's go ahead and add them one by one. I will start with the first CNAME record and copy the host name. Open the DNS records of your domain, and at the top right, click Add Record. Click the Type drop-down and select CNAME. Then paste the host name you copied. Copy the value MailPoet gives you and paste it below alias of or points to. A quick note about the wording on the screen. Services might use different terms. Focus on matching the pieces of information, not looking for identical labels. And finally, leave TTL as it is unless you've been instructed a specific value. TTL is how long the record is remembered before it refreshes. And when you are done, click Add DNS Record. Now you can repeat the same steps for the remaining 3 records. Once all 4 records are added, go back to MailPoet and click Verify DNS Records. DNS changes are not always instant. After you add, edit, or delete a record, it can take up to 72 hours to update across the internet, but it's usually a lot sooner than that. And that's the core skill. Whether you are authenticating MailPoet, verifying your domain with a marketing platform, or connecting any other service, you are always doing the same thing, choosing the record type and copying the details into the matching fields. Now, the other common reason people work with DNS records is to set up email for their domain. So if you need to set up your custom email, this is the place to do it and update your DNS records. But if you scroll down below your existing records, you'll find an email setup panel for Google Workspace, iCloud Mail, Office 365, or Zoho Mail. If you are using any of these mail providers, WordPress.com has a built-in shortcut. Your email provider, whether that's Google, Microsoft, Apple, or Zoho, will give you a verification token or code during their setup process. In this example, we'll copy that code from Google Workspace, paste it in the verification token field, and click Setup. WordPress.com adds the right DNS records for you, including the records needed to route your email, so you don't have to add each record one by one. This is the fastest way to get email working with these providers. Now, let's look at what happens if you need to change an existing record. Hover over the record you want to update and click Edit on the right. Make your change and then click Update DNS Record. If you need to remove a record, click the 3 vertical dots and choose Delete. Some records are not directly editable. For example, the A record handled by WordPress.com. To use a different A record than the default WordPress.com A record, add a new A record as normal and it will automatically replace the default WordPress.com A record. The great thing is there's also a safety net for your default WordPress records. If your site stops loading after changing a record or something stops working, click the 3 dots at the top of the DNS Records page. You'll see options to restore default A records, a CNAME record, or default email records. Choose the one that matches what you need to fix. A records restores the default A records needed for the domain name to show your WordPress.com site. CNAME ensures undefined subdomains arrive at your site without error. And email will automatically restore the required DNS records for either professional email or Google Workspace if you are subscribed to either of these email solutions via WordPress.com. The key thing is, you don't need to remember the original default values. WordPress.com gives you a way to put those default records back. The next time a service gives you a DNS record, you'll know what to look for and where each part goes.